Hurricanes, droughts, floods, wildfires, any kind of natural disaster you can really think of have all been increasing in both quantity and frequency, severity and frequency since the beginning of the Industrial Revolution. This occurrence of these natural disasters has led to many different things happening, like people losing their jobs, homes, or even in extreme cases losing family members. The increase in these natural disasters has been linked to climate change. Climate change is deeply rooted in the lifestyles of all people, whether you're from a poor country or a rich country. Things like factories and things like eating all can affect climate change. The Industrial Revolution is what kind of kickstarted this lifestyle because of the innovations and dependence on fossil fuels, and without regard to the negative effects that this could have on the environment. This disregard led to climate change, which is an issue in both the past and the present. In order to make the change on a global level to lessen climate change, we need to make a change on the personal level, such as using more environmentally friendly options, or maybe changing how we eat. I know that this can be kind of hard. I myself struggle with it, especially when things labeled as environmentally friendly tend to be more pricey, or changing my diet. It's kind of hard sometimes for me. In this speech, I would like to convince you all to try living sustainably, whether it be for a month or a week, maybe even just a day, by showing you why it's important, what we can do to change it, and like how to actually act and do it. Climate change is something that needs to be slowed, stopped, or even reversed. Its increasing in severity has caused a numerous amount of different things to happen, such as more and more disasters, loss of biodiversity, and global warming, which are all things that climate change is an attributing factor to. There are many different things that play a role in worsening climate change, but what I like to focus on are two main things, especially deforestation and greenhouse gas emissions. Deforestation is occurring all over the world. According to Why Deforestation Matters and What We Can Do to Stop It from Christina Nunez, the conversion of forests for farming to ranching is the main driver of deforestation globally. Commonly known is that the Amazon rainforest is a large forest that is decreasing each year because of deforestation. According to deforestation in the Amazon rainforest, about 80% of deforestation which occurs in the Amazon rainforest can be attributed to cattle farming. Usually deforestation is achieved through slash and burn agriculture, which is incredibly harmful for the environment because it causes soil erosion, air pollution, and releases a lot of CO2 and kills a lot of plants, which take that CO2 out of the atmosphere. As the population continues to grow, if there's no lifestyle change, much of this slash and burn agriculture can be attributed to the meat that we eat. So if we don't change how much meat we eat, that will increase deforestation, increasing climate change. With more and more people populating the world every year, there's more and more need for food, whether it be meat or fruits and vegetables, meaning we need a lot more land to grow these foods, which means more deforestation if we don't change the way that we farm our meat and fruits and vegetables. With more and more deforestation, there's more and more carbon dioxide that is not being converted to oxygen because of the lack of trees. And another issue would be that the large expansions that we make for cattle farming would be that a lot of the expansions made for cattle farming increase more and more cows each year. And cows are responsible for about 60% of the methane emissions which are released yearly from agriculture. So if we make more and more cows, there will be more and more methane in the air. Methane and carbon dioxide are greenhouse gases which trap heat in the air, causing global warming. It's extremely important that we try to diminish the amount of greenhouse gases which are being released into the air in order to slow the effects of climate change. In my survey of this class, 0% of people said that they were completely unwilling to make a change to their lifestyle. So I would like to provide some ways in which we can make a change in our communities and personal lives to lessen the effects of climate change. To start, red meat consumption, such as beef and pork, are some of the industries that take up the most space, causing a lot of deforestation. And this space is often eating less red meat is one way to drastically decrease our personal additions to climate change. The reason for this is because the gas emissions that the red meat animals create are released in abundance due to the high amount of these animals on the world. For example, example, India has 308 million cows, and Brazil has around 195 million cows, which not only releases a large amount of methane, but is also likely the cause of a lot of acres of deforestation. Now, I'm not saying to never eat red meat again, I'm just saying we should try and cut back on it. Or maybe try other protein options such as chicken and fish. Another option would be to lessen our greenhouse gases, specifically our carbon emissions, by walking, biking, or taking public transport. These emissions come from factories, cars, mining, and other things. So instead of maybe driving somewhere, you could take a train, or instead of flying, you could drive one of those things. And by using these forms of transportation, each person is cutting down on their carbon footprint by living more sustainably. To help you visualize it, there are many benefits to eating greener and traveling with a green mindset. For example, I have a lot of family members who suffer from some sort of health condition and say that they feel better when they eat greener, not only physically but emotionally. And when you eat greener, it means you're eating more kind of a plant-based diet with minimal protein, but you still can have proteins, like just using less red meat protein. And they feel like they're contributing on their personal level to lessening their greenhouse gas emissions. Or you can travel greener, like using public transport, or bikes, carpooling, or walking. Thankfully, Madison is a very walkable city, so we can all make a change by walking places, which can also ensure that we are getting our recommended exercise and bettering our health by reducing the amount of greenhouse gas emissions that we release into the air. In conclusion, we can make a change to the effects of climate change by changing ways in which we go about our daily lives. In this speech, I explained why it's important to make these changes, what we can do to solve these changes, and how to actually do them. I hope that this speech has allowed you to have a deeper understanding of how to live more sustainably in the interest of climate change, and has even persuaded you to try living more sustainably, and you might find that you like it. Thank you.